Angelina Jolie recently wrote an op-ed where she discusses a double mastectomy that she had in an effort to prevent breast cancer. Now, she has breast cancer in her immediate family, so she decided to undergo testing to see if she has a mutated gene known as BRCA1. And if she does have that gene, that indicates that she's at high risk for breast cancer. Well, it turns out that she does have that gene, and as a result, she decided to undergo the double mastectomy, which means that they remove her breasts. Now, after she did that, she also underwent reconstructive surgery, and she has come forward with this to kind of educate people and bring awareness about, this specific form of breast cancer and the specific genetic mutation.
Right.
And the idea, I guess, that you would have a mastectomy without having cancer,
right,
which is the incredibly bold part of this.
Absolutely, they did say that she was at an 87% risk. I mean, that's pretty high. But yeah.
So in the piece, she writes the following: my doctors estimated that I had an 87% risk of breast cancer and a 50% risk of ovarian cancer, although the risk is different in each case of each woman. And she also writes, I wanted to write this to tell other women that the decision to have a mastectomy was not easy, but it is one I'm very happy that I made. My chances of developing breast cancer have dropped from 87% to under 5%. I can tell my children that they don't need to fear they will lose me to breast cancer.
They have kids? I didn't realize that. Yeah.
I have surprising news, right?
Yeah, that's wild.
They have a brood.
Right.
They have a whole clan.
Yeah.
But this, I can't imagine. That is terrifying. I don't know if you know any women who've undergone this. I do. And,
yeah, I do too.
And ones that have literally lost everything. It is flat, no nipple, no anything. And I can't imagine how terrifying that would be. And to say, my back isn't even up against the wall, like there's nothing, like Ben said, there's nothing in there yet, and I'm just gonna do it. I can't imagine.
Well, the odds were against her, and it was definitely a bold decision. And it's also very bold to come forward with her story. I think that, especially in today's culture where female celebrities are applauded for their sexuality and their sex appeal more than anything else, it's difficult to say, hey, this very feminine part of my body was essentially taken away from me. I know it got reconstructed, but it was taken away from me because there was a huge chance that I could have had this disease. But going back to what you said about your friend who had to undergo this procedure, I had a really close friend who got diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 30. So the case is a little different because she was at stage 3, and she had to undergo the surgery and the reconstruction of her breast. And even after getting the plastic surgery, it didn't help with her self-esteem. It was kind of incredible. She didn't feel the same. Yeah. It's a really difficult thing for a woman to go through.
Well, I can only imagine, but the silver lining in this, and when in a time where insurance will literally say no to anything.
Right.
I heard today that insurance companies have to assist in the payment of reconstruction.
They do, but there are certain exceptions, which I have a huge problem with.
Of course there are.
So there was a law that was passed in 1998. It's known as Janet's Law. And it states that if insurance companies pay for a mastectomy, then that means that they also have to pay for the reconstructive surgery. However, the exceptions include people on Medicare or Medicaid, and it also includes some government employees. So if you're working for a school district and you're insured under that school district, there's a huge chance that that will not be covered under your insurance, which is ridiculous.
Right, so we find people on Medicare, Medicaid, and sort of people working in school districts because they rake in the bucks in school districts. They're overflowing. We're paying teachers like $400,000 or $500,000 a year.
Yeah, they can foot that bill.
So we take the people at who you just know flat out maybe they can afford it, but the reconstruction, which is absolutely necessary. It's not the idea that it's an elective choice after you've had a mastectomy is comically silly. We don't live in that country. That we take people who are going to have the most difficulty paying for it and then write the loopholes that the insurance companies clearly wanted very badly in those laws to exempt people like that. It's terrible.
What's incredible is the reason why that law even came about was because there was a woman by the name of Janet who had, her breasts removed, and she wanted to have the reconstruction, but the insurance company would not pay for it. It had to go to the courts, and it wasn't until like the late 90s that they finally decided, we should probably pass a law to protect women who do get diagnosed with breast cancer.
Well, and that's the sick thing. The sick part of it is the fact that they have to do that actually shocks me.
Yeah.
Man,
Well, I'm glad
our insurance is bad, bad.
It's bad. It
and
is
the fact
bad.
that the fact that they have to do it, I can't even believe. That seems like such a luxury.
So let's talk about the question of whether or not Angelina Jolie coming forward is heroic, because there are some people saying, like, okay, I mean, it's good that she's raising awareness, but does she count as a hero for talking about her very personal experience?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why we have to use the word hero. But I think there's something very noble about it, and I'm very comfortable using that. I guarantee you, Angelina Jolie would not call herself a hero.
Well, she'd be a hero if undergoing this was going to save 4 million villagers somewhere.
Which, by the way, I should probably do.
Probably
would.
But and I think it's amazing. I would hope that I would do the same thing and put myself out there, and I respect the hell out of her. But I don't know that I would technically call it heroic.
Yeah. It's definitely noble, and talking about it for the exact reasons that you said. That she's become a very talented actress, or people have come to realize that she's a talented actress. But she is smart, together, cares about the world, clearly cares about her kids. And people, make fun of her kids all the time, like I just did, pretending not to know, la 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 la. It's great what she did. They took people from around the world, brought them into their family, has her own kids, works for UNICEF, tries to make the world safer, has made a lot of really thoughtful, interesting movies. But the fact of the matter is, a big part of why she's been so successful is because she has this ferocious body that men and women fantasize about.
I know I fantasize about it.
Totally, and now to sort of take part of that and tell everybody in the world, yeah, this is fake. What you're seeing is fake. It's
a difficult thing for someone like her to do. I totally understand that.
It's bold and noble.
So one final thing about this story that I found fascinating. So if you have someone in your immediate family that has cancer, it's probably a good idea to undergo testing to see if you have this genetic mutation, right? But there's one problem. There's only one company right now that does this, and it's because they hold a patent. And right now the ACLU is fighting to prove that this patent is unconstitutional, because they've monopolized this type of genetic testing, and as a result they can charge whatever they want. So I spoke to my friend who went through this testing, and she told me that she paid personally $4,000 just to see whether or not she had this genetic mutation. So that's another problem that we have within our healthcare system, and we got to figure out a better solution. I love that the ACLU is fighting against that.